Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things. And without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right in. So today I had a pretty good day, but as I was going along, I was thinking about some of the interactions I've had with people lately, especially in the context of living with a chronic illness. And what I mean by that is I'll get messages like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And that's a question I've struggled with answering. And not because I don't want to tell the truth, but because it's one of those phrases that is so common, we don't even think about the weight that it carries for those of us who live with chronic illnesses or disabilities. If you think about it, the nature of chronic illness is that it's long-term, usually ain't going nowhere. So where does that put someone like myself and others when someone says, "How are you doing?" There's often this pressure to either just respond with, "I'm fine," because you don't want to waste that individual's time. Then there's often the pressure of, okay, am I being completely truthful in this aspect if I'm saying fine? Because really, behind the scenes, what's going on is I've ran out of spoons, or I didn't have any in this particular day to begin with, or whatever the case might be. And not everybody is entitled to that information, but also on the same, token, not everybody is equipped to handle that. One of the things I've noticed is when I am truthful in that regard, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm not feeling well because this, I'm very tempted to kind of rein it back in as if I'm causing the inconvenience when last time I checked, it was the other individual who asked what I was doing. So learning to contextualize that and discern who is, essentially here to ask that question, but from a place of authenticity and from a place where they genuinely want to know how I'm doing. And I find that in my endeavor to figure out how to navigate such a loaded question as "How are you doing?" it's made me more aware of my intentions and even using some of these colloquial phrases and mundane statements, because words do have power, but more specifically, in addition to that, words coupled with action have a greater level of impact than we can imagine. So I've learned from my experiences of when someone says how they're doing, watching how they react. Are they the kind of person that postures themselves to listen in the first place, or are they looking at their watch and they're like, "Man, I was just asking how she was doing. I hope she was going to say good, fine, or bad, and I was going to go about my way." So discerning, like, okay, who is here to really hear what I'm trying to say? And again, it's not going to be something that particularly changes, because with chronic illness, that's one of the things that I've learned is I have the tendency to try to make myself as less of a burden as possible. So to spare those who may ask those questions and mean well and are genuinely wanting to know how I feel or how I'm doing, I shorten my responses, and I try to alleviate as much, repetition in my responses as possible. So I guess in short, I've always felt that the question of how are you doing is a lot more weighty than people give it credit for, especially, like I said, in a chronic illness or disability context. Let me know what you guys think, whether you have a chronic illness or disability or not. What is your take on the question of how you're doing? Is it something that you have to put in some cognitive effort to process whether you should respond a certain way? Are you sifting through who can handle the brunt of how you're really doing? Or do you have someone in your life that you can just be fully embraced regardless of how you respond. Let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one.